Well, it doesn't look like there's going to be a Superman trailer anytime soon.
What are you waiting for? Christmas?
Well, it looks like James Gunn won't be attending the CCXP in Brazil after all, and neither will the elusive Peter Safran for that matter. And you know what that probably means, don't you? Yeah, that's right, that more than likely there will be no Superman trailer this month. Now, he could release it around Thanksgiving, but I doubt it. Odds are it won't be until after Creature Suicide Squad Commandos, which airs its first 2 episodes on December 5th, and its last on January 9th. Now, I suppose it could, or rather should, be shown around Christmas as a gift to all of the many DC fans who've been waiting patiently for Gunn to give the masses something, hell, anything at this point. But he just keeps on yammering about the order of his freaking timeline on social media. Which is, in case you didn't already know, is this. Commandos is first, Superman is second, Peacemaker third. So I'm betting on one of two things here. It will either air directly after the final Commandos episode, or like the Flash movie before it, way before it, they show it in all of its baggy suited weird hair-styled glory during the Super Bowl on February 9th, which I myself am leaning towards. I mean, let's think about it. This is the rebirth of Superman in the DCU. The movie that will either lead DC and little Jimmy Gunn down the path of comic book movie glory if it bangs big, or bury him if it fails. About the most watched show on television in the US anyways is the Super Bowl. And if WB can plop down $7 million for a shitty movie like The Flash, then certainly they can do the same for Superman. Hell, they're already over $40 billion in the hole anyway, so what's another 7 million clams, am I right? Well, so now we wait. Again. And did you hear? According to people who supposedly know, aka supposed scoopers, whomever these people may be, there's a rumor going around that Batman will finally make his debut in Gunn's DCU via Creature Commandos, but only as a shadow, or a silhouette if you rather. Now, will he be lurking in the shadows perhaps, or swinging around from his bat rope in an MCU-inspired baggy bat suit through the skies of Gotham maybe? Strangely enough, no one really knows that little bit of info, even if they do know somehow that he's making an appearance and that he does not speak. So he's simply a silent shadow. I guess Chris Pratt was just too damn busy to do the voiceover at the time. And speaking of Batman, or rather the Batman 2 to be more specific, there's been a lot of talk going around on social media about just who might be the big baddies in the up-and-coming sequel. Now, many would assume that the Penguin will show his ugly mug in one fashion or another for obvious reasons, and I'm sure that they are right. But there have been clues pointing to other members of Batman's rogue gallery popping up. The biggest one being this. And that's a still from episode 4, I believe, of the Penguin series, where Dr. Julian Rush, played by Theo Rossi, had to talk Sophia down from some manic episode she was having over memories from her incarceration in Arkham Asylum, where he was her attending physician. Now here's a tighter shot. Now, see where the arrows are pointing? Yeah, those two items appear to be a rather creepy-looking syringe-tipped glove and a creepy-looking hooded mask. And if you look real close at the mask, you can just about make out what look to be eye holes. And anyone who's familiar with Batman baddies can plainly come to the conclusion that they belong to none other than this guy, Scarecrow. Now, does this mean that Rush is actually Dr. Julian Crane, a.k.a. Scarecrow? Well, it could be. He could be using an assumed identity. Or he could just simply be a doctor that once treated Crane and he kept the items as souvenirs. Although I would highly doubt that he would just leave them casually lying around his office, knowing that the glove at least once carried his hallucinogenic fear toxin in the syringe fingertips. Unless, of course, he's using them to control Sophia somehow, perhaps. Well, some even think that he could actually be Hugo Strange, but I just don't see that. It just doesn't fit. And we also have somewhat of a connection to Penguin's girlfriend Eve, who has the last name Carlo. A last name shared with another Batman nemesis, Clayface, which I mentioned in my last show. And then we have this little Easter egg. Now that's a still taken from when Oz is meeting with Councilman Sebastian Haddon to set up the framing of Sophia for everything that's taken place in Gotham lately, and to have her locked up back in Arkham so he can finally lay claim to Gotham's criminal underworld. Now you notice the curtains? They look familiar. Looks kind of like old Hootie the Owl now, don't it? Oops, wrong Hootie. Now, could it be that the Court of Owls will play a major role in the Batman 2? Well, it's highly possible. According to certain Batman lore, the Court of Owls criminal organization has been wreaking havoc in Gotham City since the early 1600s. Kind of a secret, wealthy, well-to-do criminal organization. So secret that no one even knows that they even exist, not unlike the League of Shadows, led by none other than Ra's al Ghul, who also took matters into their own hands along with the law at their own convenience. Now, owl-shaped drapery doesn't exactly mean that the Court of Owls will make an appearance in the Batman 2 by any means. And even if they do, they're so damn secret, you may not even know that they're there. So who the hell does know? Well, I sure don't. I simply speculate like everyone else. Only Matt Reeves knows for sure, and he and his crew could just be dropping all these groovy Easter egg tidbits just to keep the tongues wagging about the film. Not to mention that it gives us all something to talk about and have fun besides Corn Sweat's baggy-ass Superman suit. And hey, really quick, did you hear that Netflix just hired Zack Snyder to direct an LAPD action thriller? Yeah, that's right. Netflix and Zack Snyder together again. Now, gun babies, assemble. Well, that's it until the next time. Feel free to leave any comments that you may have in the section down below. And if you like today's show, even just a little bit, well, why don't you reach on over and hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Yeah, it only takes a second. And as always, thanks for stopping by. God bless. Socks out.